if you are a well-being practitioner building your business in 2025 and still not seeing consistent income, this is what I would do differently if I had to start over today. In this episode, I want to share with you 5 things I would do differently if I wanted to earn £5,000 a month consistently. I want to share with you the money making activities, the activities that actually will make your business move forward. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Isa-Welly here. I'm a business mentor for well-being practitioners that want to grow their well-being business and their income through digital courses and programs. Now, before becoming and pivoting, let's say, into business mentoring, I myself was a Pilates teacher, a registered nutritional therapist, life and well-being coach, and I practiced this for over 10 years. Now, I had built a community of over 500,000 people across YouTube, Instagram, my mailing list, and I have supported over 5,000 students, which is crazy when I say this, but 5,000 students through my well-being courses and programs. And I had created offers that range from £7 to £497. But listen, this didn't happen overnight. It took time. It was intentional. And quite frankly, when I started my career as a Pilates teacher, I had just retired from professional dancing. I danced for years as well. I didn't know how that would happen, how I would increase my income, because like many teachers, backpack on, with lunch, all the things super heavy, long days, traveling from a studio to another. And when I started, I was also studying to become a registered nutritional therapist. My days were so packed. I was so constantly exhausting. And I remember thinking, how is this ever going to be sustainable for me? How am I going to, push that income cap that you have when you are a teacher teaching for studios or you're charging per hour. But eventually I started creating courses. But the idea of it at the beginning didn't feel right because I thought I just don't have enough followers. Like I'm too small. I'm not an expert enough. And eventually I realized all of that is not true because guess what? When you focus on the right thing, which are knowing who you're serving and what you're going to create to help them, your community grows and your sales grow. So you can launch right away, you can create, and that will grow as long as you know how to grow the community as well. So today, I want to share with you things I would do differently if I was starting my digital business now, which started a little bit later than 2015. Because in 2015, I started really teaching full-time Pilates and training to be a nutritional therapist. But my digital business didn't start till late 2019. But here are the things I would do differently. The very first one is I would create a digital offer way earlier than I did. I thought I had to be an expert. I thought I had to have a big following to do that. So I was really waiting for the perfect moment, but it actually never came. The perfect moment was for me to feel confident enough to do it, to know what I was doing. And back then there were a couple of courses to help you, but they were not really like honing on the process of, okay, how do I actually make this idea in my head into a product that people will sell? Where do I put it? What's the website? Like the resources were scarce. Nothing like how it is now. So I really held back, but I realized now I was losing money because I was ready to do it. I had the skills to do it. I had the community for it. So if you're listening to this now and thinking, oh, should I create an offer? Do it because, hey, you're going to learn through the process. If you do it the right way, as in you sort of ask your community what they need and you make sure whatever it is that you're creating is solving a problem, it will sell. Even if you only sell 10 right now, as your community grow, the sales will grow. So first thing is I would create my digital offer way earlier. Number 2 is I would get clear around who I wanted to support within my work and within my offers and build around that person instead of the content. So back then I created content for everybody, especially because I had multi skills. I was doing Pilates, but I was also doing nutrition one-to-one, and I was also doing coaching, life and well-being. So I had a few things going on, but still, when I think back and I look back, the 1 or 2 specific people I was helping, women, they were quite specific. I could have just spoken to them, but I used to do content that was a little bit too broad. And I think it it slowed down my growth and my income as well. Now, what I do as a business mentor is I always create my content, my offers, everything for that person I know. I know what issue they have. I know this is the person I can help the best. So I build for that person and I allow my community to form around that clarity. And, I this morning, actually, I was having a one-on-one session with a new clients that I've just welcomed into my one-to-one mentorship. Her name is Lisa, and she's technically a woman confidence coach in career, but we are reworking that a little bit. Sorry, but she's not the person I usually speak to. But the problem she has is exactly the problem I solve. So I don't want you to think that because you get super clear on that one person, that's the only person you're going to serve. No, this is just for you to get clear in your marketing, in your copy. It's going to give you focus because it is so much easier in terms of focus, content creation, to know who we're speaking to. Again, don't think about boxing yourself forever in a particular topic, but know that you got to be specific when you start selling, because you can't just sell to everybody. Not everybody's not listening. But when you're selling to one person and you're talking directly to their challenges, their patterns, what they have going on, they're like, oh my God, this is me. They know me. They know my problem. There's trust. They're like, take my wallet. You know what I mean? So get clear on who you want to support. That's something I definitely would have done. So number 3 is I would choose one goal at a time and build it and really focus on that. And that is something I'm really seeing now. Really focusing on one thing, you move forward much faster. Back then, as a Pilates teacher, nutritional therapist, life and well-being coach, I used to jump from a thing to another. Even within Pilates, I'll do this and then I'll do that. And then my focus will go from, okay, I want to do an event to I want to grow my community to I want to do this to, and it was just nothing really landed fully. And I just feel like even though I did really well, especially with Pilates online, really, truly, I did really well. I served so many amazing students. I earned really well. I also see where there were some gaps, and how if I had focused on one thing a little bit longer and really give it my all, it would have grown exponentially, right? So I know that focus can feel slow when we are in the moment, but it moves fast, like really fast. And I really am experiencing right now within my business mentoring, deciding to the past 3 months to just focus on one-to-one and already welcoming my 5th client at a high ticket. That's because I'm so focused. I sell daily, and that's what I'm doing. And then once I've got my momentum, I can then be like, okay, now let's focus on something else, because the energy there is already flowing. So choose one goal at a time. I actually just got back from holidays. I was in Norfolk, in the in the east of England. So northeast of London, basically, about 3 hours out of London. And just being in nature, I had so much clarity. I already had plans on things I wanted to do, of course. I'm also a manifesting generator. If you are a manifestor generator, if you follow human design, and we love to do all the things, and it works for us. But sometimes I feel like, just rein it in a little bit. But being away just made me realize how much I was slowly adding back onto my plate. And they were not necessarily things that were going to move the needle fast enough in terms of the effort I had to put in. So I removed a couple of big things, and I just felt lighter, and I thought, yeah, this wasn't the right time. This is something I would have had forced, and it would have not necessarily given me the results I wanted. And for me right now, my focus is number 1, one-to-one clients, and number 2, very closely, community growth, right? Very, very important, because the type of business I want to have in the next 6 months, year, 5 years, 10 years require me to have a solid community. So I want to grow that intentionally, especially over my email list, and here on YouTube, right? So doing everything feels productive, but it can also be chaotic and too much for the nervous system, too much pressure. That's how I feel like sometimes. So bring it down to one thing, max 2, and make sure you're doing it in a way that actually moves fast. So for example, for me, if right now my focus is to get 2 clients this month, right now just 1, I'll make sure every day, somewhere, somehow, I am sharing something to invite people into my world to sell that one-to-one. And that's it. I'm not focusing on doing another thing and the community growth at the same time, or creating a freebie, or like just one thing at a time. And honestly, you move so much faster. Number four, I would stop relying on social media and really focus on building a real sense of community. When I started, especially with Pilates back on Instagram, it was back then on Instagram, it's very much about how big is your following. I was also working with big brands, and that mattered to them. I worked a lot with Adidas, then with Sweaty Betty, and other brands in the health and wellness industry. And having a big follower was important. So sometimes I was focused a little bit too much on that rather than focusing on my business side. And again, that goes back to doing two things, right? Because I was a business owner, I was earning great money, and I also loved doing content creation. So I was doing that as well. But sometimes that meant it was taking time away from my business. And now when I look back, I think I would have made choices differently at different times. But hey, it's all a learning curve. And back then, I posted all the time, but it was more like in a performance, grow, rather than be really intentional and not only rely on social media, but also grow my community outside of that. Because you create deeper connections, like at the end of my classes, when I did event, when I was invited to teach us at festivals, when I collaborated, making sure I was getting everybody's email and connecting with them, getting them on my list, telling them what I was doing as well with my business, the classes I was creating, how we could support them. And yeah, that would have again changed my business really fast, really fast. So that is something I really advise you to do, is don't just rely on social media and focus on numbers and growth. Like, connect with people, get people on your mailing list, get their email at the end of your classes, whatever group events, wherever you go, tell them what you're doing. I promise the ripple effect, it just happens so much faster than you think. Nowadays, with my business mentoring, I do use social media, not a lot, but I really rely on real life connection as well. Wherever I go, people know what I'm doing. I'll get email, I'll put people on my mailing list, but it's a little bit more spread. And I have that intention of building a real community. Numbers don't matter as much. Like, a real sense of community is what I crave, what I want. And I know that it can be so much more powerful than just having loads of followers, basically. Okay, number five, last but not least, and I think this one is the most important one, I would sell every day. Directly or indirectly, I would sell every day and build a system that supports the sale. Back then, I did launches and I enjoyed it, but it also burnt me out. So I'll have a launch like practically every 2 months. That's a lot of work. Every 2 months, I'll launch something. A launch takes like a solid 4 to 6 weeks. So I was in that. But that's how I earned my money eventually when I went online. So I'll do a launch and I'll welcome in, say, 100 students into my program. And that could be like a 15,000, a 20,000 pound launch. And then I'll launch something else. And then but it was constantly like that. And I remember thinking, wow, this is also a lot. You don't have an income cap as such because you can just keep welcoming loads of students as your community grows. But it was tiring to do launch. Now I have it differently and I would do it differently. I would have certain things in evergreen, which means you don't just open and close the carts. Things are there for you to sell all the time, but I would actually sell actively all the time. And I didn't back then. I would just wait for a launch. And when it came to my coaching, life and well-being, again, I wasn't really actively selling. And I remember thinking, I should have more clients with the kind of following I have, and realizing, yeah, but I'm not actually sharing about it every day because I'm doing a lot of different things, right? Nowadays, as a business mentor, as I mentioned earlier, if my goal is to get 2 new clients this month, best believe I'm getting my 2 clients, even with just 300 people on my mailing list and 400 people on YouTube. It doesn't matter. I will go in because I know those people are there. There are people there, they're warm, they're listening to me, they're on my mailing list, they're there because they want to, right? So to do that, I will tell them regularly, hey, here's what I have for you here. I would nurture them. I'll make sure I show up weekly or twice a week or whatever it is, but I would make sure I sell every day. Nowadays, I have like quite a simple sort of system. I have posted my podcast, but back then, so but up till a few weeks ago, I had my podcast go once a week. I'll have a YouTube episode once a week. I'll share something on Instagram twice in the week, and then I'll be on my mailing list twice a week. So that's 6 times, right? That's 6 times in the week. So practically every day I am selling directly or indirectly. I don't always have something to sell. I don't always have the space to take on a new client or have something specific to sell. But even if it's just sharing or selling something free, quote unquote, selling, I'm still selling indirectly because people are coming into my world. So I show up somewhere every day. It doesn't feel like that because, again, I have a podcast, I have things that are going out. This is what you call the systems as well. It's doing the heavy lifting for me. But every day something is happening, and I didn't do it back then. And again, the difference is monumental. I have a mailing list of 300 people. I do have a bigger Instagram, to be honest with you. I have 35,000 people on Instagram, but these are, to be honest with you, 98%, 99% maybe even are Pilates, health and wellness is still my old community. So it's not a very engaged profile, and I can't tell you that I'm getting everybody through that. But I still show up there a couple of times in a week because I know some of these people are now interested in building their businesses. And I know that I'm growing that community as well, that new community of well-being practitioners. But all that to say, showing up somewhere all the time is important. My mailing list is only 300 people, but I still manage to nurture it, and I still get requests. I've got a request today on working with me after I send an email about how I work. So don't worry about the numbers, about who you're seeing. You just show up. You show up. You put in place the content, the systems you need to sell for you. Some people do Facebook ads. I don't recommend that at the beginning. I think you can do that much later. I've actually never done Facebook ads to grow my community because I was fortunate enough, we can say fortunate enough to start on YouTube and see the growth and then stick to it. I stuck to it. I put all my work into it, and it grew. It picked up momentum and it grew. So all my clients and all my students came from there. Now things are a little bit different, and I'm still not using Facebook ads yet because right now I'm building one-to-one and I don't feel like I need it yet. But in 6 months, when I start working on programs and I want to welcome 20, 30, 40, 50 people, these people are going to have to come from somewhere. If my new YouTube channel is not at a stage where I can welcome 30 people in a group, then I'll have to consider Facebook ads. But you want to think about that before. In general, I'd say start to grow organically, start to sell, test and try your offers, your opt-ins, your lead magnets. Show up, do the things every day, show up, be consistent, focus on money-making activities. And again, that is not, creating a beautiful reel for 3 hours. That's not money-making real activities, that's telling someone I have this for you. That's a money-making activity, but focus on the right thing right now and allow your work, your business to build with momentum before you bring in Facebook ads, paid ads that will then help you scale, right? For me, ads is about scaling. And before you scale, you need the clarity, you need to build, and then you can scale. You need to have tried these things and know that they work, because Facebook ads, if your lead magnet is not working, it's not converting, people are not understanding your messaging, you're just throwing money out there. So it's important to try these things first. Et voilà for today. Let's have a quick little recap. 5 things I would do differently if I was starting my well-being business today in 2025. Number 1, I would create a digital offer right now. Right away, right now, I'll do it and I'll allow it to grow as my community grows. Number 2, I'll get super crystal clear on who I'm supporting and build around that person, right? I'll build around that person, the content, my offers around that person that I have in mind, and support them, serve them the best. Number 3, I would focus on one thing at a time. I'll choose one goal at a time for 6 to 12 weeks, and I'll just really focus on that and allow it to grow, allow the energy to flow into that before adding on another one. Because again, we want to leave, I'm doing a lot of things and it feels chaotic, but it feels like so productive. But actually, when you look closely, I'm not really getting any results. I'm just doing loads of things. And we want to shift to, I'm doing this one thing intentionally and it's moving fast, but I'm just in. Okay, number 4, I would stop relying on social media and build a real community, right? I would connect with my students in class, in face, talk to people. If you go to event, collect those emails and really build that community on your platform, which is your website, which is your mailing list. Last but not least, the most important for me, I think, as soon as you've got something to sell, whether it's like a freebie, so it's not really selling, but sharing your freebie, or selling an offer, whether it's a high ticket one-to-one, a small little £7, £20 offer, I would sell it every day, directly or indirectly. I would have something out selling for me every single day so people know that I have something to offer. So if this episode resonated for you, make sure you stay in my world, because I have so much more to share with you in the next few weeks right here on this YouTube channel. But also do come into my real world, my community, on my mailing list, where I'll email you twice a week with some honest, grounded insights and advice to help you grow your business. I've got two things that can support you right now. Number one is called 3 Quiet Reasons Why Your Offer is Not Selling. If you have something out now, but you're not getting the numbers, it's not selling as well as you want, this is for you. The link is in the show notes, in the description. If you are in the clarity phase of your business, you're kind of starting, you want to understand better how to serve, who you want to serve, and how to get clear on that. I've got 2 things. The Clear Client Framework. It's an incredible framework to help you get clear on who you're serving and what you can create to serve that person. Again, it's here. That's only £27. You get access lifetime, and you can use it for this business, another business, this offer, another offer. And last but not least, another freebie, 3 things that can make or break your business. That is some fantastic masterclass. Many of my one-to-one clients have seen that and were like, yes, this is what I need. So go have a look, pick what feels right for you today. And listen, I'm here for you, and I'll see you in the next episode.